Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Satbo Reads Books, who's Satbo, that's me, and I talk books. Welcome back. I basically just wanted to pop on here and just talk about like my love for graphic novels. Like, I didn't realise how much I really enjoy them until this week. I've been reading through a couple of arcs that I got from NetGalley, and I got a few graphic novels because I was just like, you know what, I'm kind of bored of just reading words, so I just wanted like and I felt like I was gonna end up in a reading slump, so I was just like, you know, let me just read some graphic novels just to spice things back up. And I was like, do you know what, I actually really love graphic novels, so I just wanted to come on here, just have a chat about graphic novels, talk about a few that I've got that kind of started off my love of graphic novels, and a few that I have read, a few that I want to read. And yeah, by all means, I'm not an expert at graphic novels. I'm really not an expert at I'm not a pro or anything like that. I'm not like fully into the world, but I want to explore graphic novels as well, a lot more than I am now. So I guess 2021 is a great way to it's a great time to explore, because we're still in this lockdown in the UK. I don't know when we're gonna get out. I don't know when they'll let us out, but hopefully soon. So, but in the meantime, I'm not gonna complain because it gives me time to like read all the books that I have and continue buying them. So let's get into it. Okay, I've got a few with me, and I have a few that are probably on Kindle as well, and some of the arcs that I've got as well, so I'll talk about a few of those. What is a graphic novel? A graphic novel is essentially a book that has pictures as well as text. So the writing and the images, they are a team in terms of telling the story. They're kind of like adult picture books, but yeah, it's crazy because when I was researching or looking up stuff about graphic novels, I was seeing a lot of it was aimed towards kids, and there are like some adult graphic novels out there. Usually when you say graphic novel, people tend to think of like superhero comics like Batman, Spider-Man, but there are graphic novels that are about different topics as well, and hopefully I'm gonna talk about some of them as well. Graphic novels are books, like in the sense that they can discuss anything, any topic. It's not just about superheroes, it's not that kind of nerdy stuff that we typically think about when it comes to graphic novels. Yeah, there's so much, like it's a fantastic world to explore, because you get to see the images of what's actually happening in the story, instead of just relying on your imagination. And sometimes I realize, with me anyway, there's certain books where I can't even imagine what is going on because I have no experience in it. So like for example, I was reading Circe a couple of months ago by Madeline Miller. I hope I said her name right. I think that's the right author. I was reading Circe, which is about a Greek goddess, the Greek goddess Circe, and she does something, and her punishment is to live alone, isolated on this island. And there was descriptions of the goddesses like palaces and where they would live and what they would look like, but in my head I couldn't imagine that because I have no experience with Greek mythology. So it was the first time I've ever like encountered a Greek myth like that. I've never heard about Circe, so like trying to picture what they would look like, what they would wear, besides like trying to imagine, I don't know, in my head I just thought of like Hercules, but with Circe. I don't even know if that makes sense. What I'm trying to say is that sometimes graphic novels, when you've got the pictures there, it makes it easier for you to understand the story. So it's kind of in between a movie and a book, because you've got the images there but you're still making up like the voices and the sounds and all of that in your imagination. Yeah, I feel like I'm waffling, but yeah. So I want to talk about a few books that I started off with. So my very first encounter with a grown or a more quote unquote grown up graphic novel is this book, The Invention of Hugo Cabaret. And I got this years ago, like I was a child when I got this book. Look how big it is. I was a child when I got this book, so please forgive me if I don't actually remember what the book's about, but I had a quick skim of the blurb, and essentially it's about a young boy called Hugo who lives in a Paris train station, and there's a secret that his father left him, his dead father left him, and he wants to go and investigate that. The author says it's not a graphic novel, it's not a book, but it's a combination of all these different things. And yeah, it's like this book gave me a new experience into like in terms of picture book, because you get full text in there, but you also get stunning images in the book as well. So the book and the text kind of tells the story. They kind of tag team together. And I thought this book was absolutely brilliant. I went on Goodreads and apparently I rated it 5 out of 5. And I don't even remember doing that. But I read this years and years ago, so maybe it will be a good chance to reread the book. And then my second encounter was reading This Seconds by Brian Lee O'Malley. This came, I bought this, no, I didn't buy it, someone bought it for me, and I read this years ago. I definitely read this years ago. But basically what it's about a young woman named Katie, and she gets chances to do over certain parts of her life. So she gets a second chance, and it's, if you're familiar with the artwork, it's kind of done by the person who did Scott Pilgrim as well. So those series as well. So it's a great book. I really enjoyed it. I don't know if I gave it a rating on Goodreads. I don't remember. But this was my second kind of experience with a graphic novel. So that's when I started to realise, like, I really enjoy this kind of form of storytelling. And the best thing about graphic novels are that they are a very quick read. Like, you can read 1 or 2 of them in a day depending on how much time you've got, but you can read so much of them, and that's what makes it fun. So Kindred is a graphic novel adaptation of the novel with the same title by Octavia E. Butler, and I talk about it a lot more in my January wrap up, I think. It's about a woman who just randomly goes back in time, back to slavery time. So her current time is in the 70s. Dana is her name, and she just randomly time travels back to slavery times to a plantation, which is absolutely terrifying. So it's a great book to read. And then another one I picked up last year but I haven't read yet is Aya. So it's set in the Ivory Coast in Africa. So again, it's nice to see a graphic novel set in Africa, because obviously I'm into black books and I want to read more of them. So I would love to read more black graphic novels. It's great, like we get a graphic novel that's set in Africa, which I absolutely love, and that's not Black Panther. So no shade to Black Panther. I did read one of, let me know if we talk, but yeah, I did read one of the graphic novels for Black Panther and I did not enjoy it. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. So this might come up in one of my wrap up videos, you never know. Stay tuned for that. Subscribe to my channel for that. But yes, a few that I also have read. Roots by Tara O'Connor. I think this wasn't an arc. I actually borrowed this. So quick tip for you mandem, yeah, if you've got Amazon Prime, you can actually borrow books. So if you've got a Kindle, you can borrow books from Prime Reading, so you can download books for like free, and read them. So I took that, when I had Prime, I took the opportunity and I downloaded some books, read them, and then you can give it back. So you can borrow up to 10 books at a time with Prime Reading. So I definitely recommend that if you don't want to be spending money, especially during the pandemic, you want to save your coins, but you've got Amazon Prime for some reason, definitely check out Prime Reading. You can get loads of books for free. Yeah, I highly recommend it. So this one I got from Prime Reading. A few of the graphic novels that I actually talk about I actually got from Prime Reading. And yeah, Roots was about an American woman who wanted to discover her roots, and that takes her to Ireland. So she has a whole like adventure there, and it was really interesting to see like someone exploring their roots, their ancestral roots. So that was a nice one. Pictures were good. You're My Pet, volume 1 to 14 by, I'm gonna say his name so wrong, Yayoi Ogawa. So this is a manga. Manga's like an Asian graphic novel. So mangas are really, really good. They are quite long because they tend to do them in volumes. So you can have like volume 1 to whatever number. So this series I read last summer. No, was it last summer? Last year. I know it was last year. And I just flew through them because I got it from, again, Prime Reading. You're My Pet, about a woman, strong, independent woman working in the news company, news business, I don't know what they call them. And she suddenly meets this young man, and she takes the man, he's homeless, she takes him in, and she makes him her pet. So he acts like her pet, he comforts her like a pet, and then we kind of see like a romance developing from that, even though it's kind of weird, but it was really fun to read, and obviously it was really quick, so I absolutely loved I loved it, and I was like, I want to read more. But yeah, I was really happy with the way that it ended as well. Lumberjanes volume 1, which was on Prime Reading. So usually you can get the first volume on Prime Reading, and then if you want to read like the next volumes, you have to pay for that because that ain't free. I think it's rare to find like a whole series of Prime Reading. I did for You're My Pet, but not for Lumberjanes. Lumberjanes wasn't for me. I think it's more aimed towards kids or teens, pre-teens. All of that is just a bunch of girls who, I think they're part of like, what's those things called? Those kids that like to go camping. It's like brownies, yeah? So Lumberjanes is like, they are part of like a brownie group, and they just go on different adventures. I didn't really enjoy it, it wasn't for me, but it might be for a kid that you might know, or a preteen, or a teen, not teen as in like 16 to 18, but definitely younger. Swords of Glass volume 1, again I got that from Prime Reading. I can't even remember what this one's about. Lol. I mean, I was interested in the story, but not enough to actually go and look for the second one and buy that. So yeah, I can't remember what it's about. It's about I think it's about a young girl who, I think her family gets killed. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. Okay, a young woman lives in this village. It's set in a different world. So there's a sword that falls onto the planet, into her town, should I say. That's even better than her planet. Okay, I'm remixing the story, but essentially what happens is there's a young woman, there's a sword that so the sword falls onto their town. If anyone touches it, they literally disintegrate. So no one can touch this sword. I'm sorry, I'm not making it sound appealing. But essentially she grows up to be a warrior, and she's gonna fight to get the sword. She trains under one guy that picks her up. Yes, Black Panther, dead. I did not like that. So that was Black Panther volume 1, A Nation Under Our Feet. I did not enjoy that. An arc that I recently read, 2 Week Wait, which is about a couple undergoing like IVF. So we kind of see their IVF story, which was really nice. I'm nowhere near being pregnant or having babies or ready for all of that stuff. but it was a nice insight into like the whole journey and the highs and lows of IVF, because I imagine it's not easy. So that is a nice graphic novel for people that need comfort for in terms of wanting a baby and trying for a baby as well. So that was a really nice one. Another arc called Delicates, which is part 2 to the first graphic novel, which is called Sheets. This one's definitely aimed for like pre-teens and teens. So Delicates is about a young woman who can see dead people called Marjorie May and her ghost best friend called Wendell. And what happens is there's another girl in the school called Eliza who's been held back into the same year as Marjorie May. So we find out that this Eliza girl is she's very sad and she hasn't got any friends, so she's isolated. So again, it's a story of friendship, companionship, asking for help when you really need it. That's a big lesson I learned. So yeah, we see how they become friends. I read another manga arc that is being translated into English called Those Not So Sweet Boys. That was really fun to read. I really enjoyed that story, so I'm looking forward to the next volumes, but again, that's going to take ages because the first volume is not even out until next week. A famous graphic novel that I want to read, that I currently have on my Kindle, is Saga. I've been eyeing this book for years and now I've got the chance to read it, so I'm definitely going to read it. I think it will appear in my February wrap up because I should read it. I want to read it this month. Pray for my bank account that I don't spend a lot of money on that. But yeah, sorry, I felt like this was a waffly video. It was kind of very last minute. But yeah, just let me know in the comments, like, do you like graphic novels? Have you tried a graphic novel? And which ones do you recommend? I'm definitely trying to explore a lot more graphic novels. So like, I'm taking any recommendation right now, like any, but not any superhero stuff because I'm not into it. Please, no superhero stuff. But anything about anything, I will definitely check it out. But yeah, let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, give me a thumbs up. Send me a book emoji in the comments. And yeah, thank you for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye.